Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of On Deck here on FTSN. I'm glad that we finally got him on to welcome Josh Wingate. Finally, been able to make it on the podcast tonight. Josh, thank you for coming on so we can talk a little baseball. I know your team's turning it around. How are we doing tonight?
We're doing good. Always excited to talk a little baseball. Everyone's like, this is the dead time of year, but this is when it starts to ramp up. And I love baseball.
Yep, yeah, 100%. It's a good time. We got
Yeah.
NHL playoffs going. I'm a college baseball fan, so college baseball is ramping up for me. Uh, and you got NBA playoffs too, and then you got baseball. So I'm happy, but I'm glad we got you on, and it was something I wanted to do after you did mention on Bobby and I's podcast that the Jets are going to have an A+ draft, and they did have an A+ draft.
Yeah, they did.
So now we can get you on, but we're going to talk baseball because your team, the Phillies, since firing Rob Thompson, I mean, they were in a free fall there, and they've really turned it around with the way they're playing. I can't remember what he's 19 and 17 and something, I want to say. But, right now, about over 500, 500, I guess, 8.5 back, 25 and 25, 7-3 in the last 10, definitely, lost the last two. But, from this, I've always said this Phillies team, their window's closing fast. Most of these guys, Bryce Harper's, they're starting to get older. But what do you think the difference was when, Rob Thompson's guys made, NLCS's guys made the World Series, and then is his message, did you feel it was just getting a little too stale in the clubhouse?
Possibly. I don't know what happened. It wasn't just like truly the hitters. Like, we know the Phillies. The Phillies they're very up and down when it comes to hitting. One, they're not average hitters. They're below average. Like, they're below average, but they have explosion in times, and they can hit home runs. But the thing that threw me off was we had Christopher Sanchez not pitching to his capabilities, and like the pitching that was supposed to be great coming into this year. Yes, we didn't have Zach Wheeler in the beginning. He's kind of like the heartbeat of the pitching rotation for the Phillies, but everyone from Trey Turner, he's cold right now, but Bryce Harper started off cold. These guys that started hitting well for us just didn't do it. And yes, it could have been the manager, but I just feel like it was the entire team. I don't think they came into this year excited for the season, and it showed. I felt like they wanted some type of turnaround to happen. And this lineup did not have much of a change. Yes, we got, and I absolutely love him, but Crawford coming into the lineup, that was really, in Garcia, but that was really the only change that we had to this team.
100%. Yeah, you got Justin Crawford, former son of Carl Crawford. I actually got to scout him his freshman year in California when he went to a small prep school in California before he went to Bishop Gorman. As you see, if you watch him today, as a 14-year-old freshman, the man could fly.
Yeah.
But they didn't do much. Minus those two, and the pitching staff kind of stayed the same. A little down for Jesus Luzardo, who had an unbelievable year last year, and Christopher Sanchez starting off a little slow after the World Baseball Classic there. But and I know I've seen you in the comments, and I'm looking at the stats, and we had spoken about this in past. You had mentioned it in past. Just mention a comment here and there when you've watched about. I'm very surprised because we had mentioned this guy Brandon Marsh and you had mentioned Brandon Marsh or Sosa, and mentioned Brandon Marsh probably the odd man out. This guy Brandon Marsh is leading the team with a 325 average.
Yeah, I love, like, I've never had an issue. Like, Brandon Marsh hasn't shown up, but Brandon Marsh is like, he's meaningful to the clubhouse. He likes to keep it easy breezy. Like, he loves to have fun. And that's great for this clubhouse to someone like Bryce Harper, who he's kind of turned into the old smudging of a man. But he's him and Stott play well together. Um, I think the guy that's kind of the odd man out right now is Bohm, and he's been kind of that way for the last couple years. But when Marsh is hot, and he can help this lineup. You never really see that from Bohm. Bohm is very uh, in the moment. He can have some big hits, but he doesn't do anything for the lineup. He's not explosive for the lineup. Um, I'm one thing I'm eyeballing right now is um, our young guy. I don't know if he's healthy yet, but Aiden Miller. When do you bring up Aiden
Yeah,
Miller and start to
definitely.
play him?
Definitely.
Because this lineup needs something. My biggest thing in the offseason was get rid of Schwarber. Like Schwarber's having an amazing like home run season, but that's really what he is. He's all or nothing. I think he's hitting like 230, 220 right now. And having him where they like to put him, closer to the top of the lineup. They like starting or leading him off sometimes. They like putting him up towards like the first three hitters. And you have Trey Turner, who's cold right now. You have Schwarber, who's all or nothing. Harper's having a really good month right now. But like you have that, and you don't start the lineup off really well, and it frustrates the heck out of me. I want to see Crawford at the top of the lineup. I think Crawford there'd be added pressure to him, and he's shown it this season. Like he accelerates with pressure. Like get all the pressure on him. He's had a couple walk off. He had a walk off home run, a couple walk off hits. He's legit.
I mean,
I'd love to see
for a rookie, 255. I mean, his stolen base numbers haven't been there. I think he'll definitely see that with more experience with only 7 with his speed.
Yeah.
I was watching an interview with Kenny Lofton, and he was talking about today's baseball, and he's like the way, and I don't know if you agree with me, the way baseball is viewing now, because I'm with you. I think Crawford should be at that top of the lineup. Yeah. He's a traditional leadoff hitter, but the way baseball is going, you don't see too many traditional leadoff hitters like we saw with the Kenny Lofton anymore.
And that's the thing. Like, go to old school baseball. We saw it last year with the Brewers. Brewers played old school baseball last year, and they were for at least the season. I know that it didn't work out in the playoffs for them, but at least last season, they were a hard team to beat. They ran the base path. They played small ball. They fielded really well. They reminded me a lot of that Phillies team that won the World Series. They played really good. They ran opportunistically, and they just got on base. And that's something that this team is missing. The one thing I hate about this team is they'll swing at anything. They don't allow pitches. They just don't take pitches. Like, come in, take the first pitch. Let the pitcher throw. Get his pitch count up there. A lot of times these pitchers can go 7 innings. Like, no, you should be getting them out 5, 6 innings. Be patient.
I kind of mold it. You don't see it this year the way the team's doing it, but I mean, if you look at the Blue Jays, who are 1 or 2 outs away from winning the World Series, and probably, and in my opinion, they lost that World Series. It wasn't a Dodger. They lost that World Series. That team wasn't built on power or super. It was built on playing fundamental defense, making contact, being smart on the base path, doing the smart things. And I just see, Schwarber's, he's amazing.
Yeah.
And you know me, I'm a Yankees fan, so it drives me nuts when I hear Aaron Boone talk about, well, he can hit a home run. I'm like, yeah, well, he goes 2 for 10. I don't care if he hits a home run. One time he's straight. He's getting out 8 times. I don't care if Austin Wells, he can hit a home run. I'm like, well, he's back to 176. Get him out of the freaking lineup. But you don't see, you don't see that enough. And I even bring it up. I get in a minute. Me being from Los Angeles, I hate the Dodgers with a passion. And I get in many arguments with my Dodgers friends about how Shohei's the greatest thing ever. I'm like, if you watch him, first off, he's done nothing in the playoffs.
Phillies dominate Shohei.
He's done nothing in the playoffs. I'm like, and me being a Yankees fan, I'm like, that's where you show up. I'm sorry if you're playing in the playoffs and you're not showing up in the playoffs, I know it's not everything, but that is everything. That's when you're supposed to be your best player. And if you watch him when he does get in the playoffs, it's a home run.
Yeah.
But I get it. I mean, they're definitely figuring out. Brandon Marsh 325, Trey Turner, who I am very surprisingly happy with his defense this year when he made the change from going backhand. I mean, his fielding percentage was god awful, and now he's at a 972, which is
Yeah.
pretty solid for Trey Turner.
And it's just growing up, my favorite player, obviously, and a lot of people's was Cal Ripken. Like growing up watching Cal Ripken, and then after Cal Ripken retires, going into Jimmy Rollins and watching them play, it's just like, whew, there's obviously the angles that Turner takes. He's slow to get the ball out. It's like you're this athletic guy, and don't get me wrong, Jimmy Rollins is just on another level when it comes to fielding, and what Utley and him had were just next level. But I was watching a couple days ago, and I was talking to my grandfather about this, and there was a potential double play, and it took forever for him to run up on the ball, field it, throw it out. He had to like turn around to throw it. If you would have watched Jimmy Rollins would have got it and tossed it out. Utley would have got it, turned it. Um, that's something the Phillies are missing too, is that like quick ability to turn a double play.
Yeah.
Because that would have got him out of the inning, and then I think they ended up getting a run out of it. So,
I mean, he is. I did see something. He's going all backhand this year, and
yeah,
not playing it, straight up, and that's helped him. Which I mean, it's helped his game. I mean, he was god
yeah,
awful last year,
yeah,
so I mean, it's helped to a point where he's a serviceable shortstop.
yeah. I
But
would love to see Trey Turner at third,
yeah, I mean,
and get Aiden Miller in here at short.
uh, the pitching staff is definitely Wheeler needs to come back to where he is.
Oh,
To be that
he's
age.
dominating right now.
And he's got to continue 3-0, 1.99 ERA.
Yeah,
Christopher Sanchez definitely 5-2, 1.82 ERA. That's if those guys are cooking on all cylinders, that's one of the better 1-2s in baseball.
yeah. You got Luzardo also pitching really well. Wheeler, Sanchez, but you just have that drop off of can't think of his name right now. Andrew Painter.
Yeah,
He's not what he should be. It's a shame. Like, yeah, he can be like a serviceable number 5 guy. Aaron Nola, like I'm the type of guy, get him out. I was the guy that said don't give him the contract because he mentally is not there.
yeah.
Very quick to give up a home run, and then his game's over. You need to pull him as soon as he gives up a home run because he will just give up 5 runs after that. And then you got Tywin Walker, who I would package all 3 of those guys up, Andrew Painter, Aaron Nola, and Tywin Walker, and just get a 4th guy and pull someone up. But
I mean, it's with the Painter thing, and I see it right now with Spencer Jones, and it's the curse of having a competitive team is when these high prospects come up, they need reps, they need time to just. Yes, they're going to struggle, but they got to break through it. And because such a team like the Phillies or the Yankees, they want to be competing for a World Series, they don't have the time to afford a guy to work through his kinks to get to the level he needs. I mean, Andrew Painter was a top 10 guy before he got hurt for a couple years there with Tommy John. But with a team like the Phillies, with Trey Turner and Harper and Wheeler starting to get older, they don't have the time to afford him to work through it to get to the point where you probably know he can get.
Yeah, I was so excited for Andrew Painter to come in here because top speed guy, has really good curveball, but he's throwing everything over the middle, and that's the other issue with Nola too. And it makes me question, and I don't know who it is, but our pitching coach, because it seems like everyone is like these guys, Christopher Sanchez and Zach Wheeler, they know what they're doing. They're older players. Pitching coach is just kind of like tweaking some things on them, but they know how to throw it. Nola should too, but I think Nola's fallen apart, and he's never got it back since the last playoff appearance that he had. But I wonder what the Phillies are getting. They haven't really got the right pitching or the coaching since Charlie Manuel has been a part of this team. Like Charlie Manuel, great hitting coach. I think they need to go back to that of finding someone that specializes in something. I don't care if it's pitching, I don't care if it's hitting, but finding that manager that specializes, they can come in and chime in and then going from there, because this coaching staff has just been poor, I believe. Like our pitching's all over the place. Hitting is so inconsistent. Um, Something has to happen, and I don't know what it is, but something does.
Well, I mean, going in as obviously with the trade deadline, and I know we're here in early, late May here.
Yeah.
What is like your early thoughts of positions you think the Phillies need to identify?
It's going to sound crazy, but I want to go get another center fielder.
Okay.
Because I want to get another speed guy, someone really good fielding. Get rid of Garcia. He can be a bench guy. He can be platoon guy as needed because he can't hit to save his life. He's a good fielder. Bring him in late in innings. But get a center fielder. Put Crawford over in left, his more natural position. Love him at center, but get another fielder left field, and then put Marsh in right field. And I think that would be great. Another average guy to play in the lineup. And ultimately, I want to get another pitcher. Get someone to at least be a 4. If you can, get a 5. And I'm looking at like that Joe Blanton type guy, someone that can eat innings. He's not going to kill you, but he's going to get you to the 7th inning consistently. So I think that's what
I think you can never go wrong with pitching, especially getting October. Definitely a guy, if you can throw him in that 4-5 spot, a guy who can make some spot starts so you can make a long inning roll. I think it's going to be a hotly contested trade market, and we could see some very interesting players on the market. The way the landscape of baseball is going right now with some teams, but you guys are 8 games out right now, and I mean I know that's a 8.5, but I mean 9 with if you're going in the loss column, the 8.5 bugs me. I'm like, okay, it's going to all even out. Like one day the Phillies are going to be playing, the Braves are going to be off, but I mean, with the 8.5 they see on ESPN, what are you still think you got a good shot for the NL East, or it's too deep to dig out of?
I don't know if it's too deep. With the way that they're playing right now, I think it's going to be tight come to the end. I think it's going to be super tight. But with the way the Braves are injured, I mean the Mets are the Mets, and and
no, they just took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees.
Yeah, but and that's the thing. They should be good. The Mets should be very good.
Yeah,
but they're not. So they'll steal some like that. But I think it's going to be a very close, very exciting September for the NL East.
Well, quickly going in because I love Donnie baseball. I love Donnie Mattingly, Yankee great. But I mean, the guy does have managerial experience. But is there a name? I know we're early that you're looking that you're already circling, or is it too early for next year to be? I like this guy. I want this guy as my manager.
I think it's too early. The only person, and I don't even know if he'd ever do it, is the hitting coach for the Braves.
Okay.
Can't think of his name, but he's just well-respected hitting coach. You see what the Braves do hitting wise. They're consistent. Would love to get a guy like that. I don't necessarily need some young guy. I think they need like an older guy to come in here and not try and be like that cool coach. I'm trying to fit into Bryce Harper. I think Bryce Harper needs someone to light a fire under him. I also think Bryce Harper needs to get off the field and just focus on hitting,
Okay.
because that's when you see him do his best. When he can just focus on it, he's never going to do it, but he needs to do that. I thought that should have been the move last season as far as Schwarber leaving, putting Harper out there, get a first baseman, go get a different right fielder, put your money into that right field. I forget who the guy for the Cubs was last year.
Kyle
That was a
Tucker.
free. Yep. I wanted to get him. Harper, DH, go get a first baseman who could field, um, and go from there. But
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm with you. I think I do love the old school managers. I've
Yeah.
always wanted Terry Francona, even though he did, beat us a couple times when he was with the Red Sox. I love Tito there in
Yep.
Cincinnati. I think the old school, the new school, I'm going to be your best friend. I'm like, no, you need to put these man children in place. And if you know anything about Bryce Harper, he's
Yeah.
definitely he's got an attitude. I will say I was talking to Sam. He came on a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about like the salary cap and everything. I was like, what sport in professional sports would a player cuss out the
Yeah.
cuss out your
President of baseball.
commissioner and tell him to
Oh, yeah.
get the f out, and he would wear it only in baseball. You're telling no 6'7" lineman would do that to Roger
Nope.
Goodell, but that happens in baseball.
Yeah. I think while baseball is doing better, I think baseball definitely has. Baseball's weird when it comes to that. Like the players definitely run baseball. I'm interested. Like I don't think a salary cap would ever happen,
Yeah.
because players don't want a salary cap, and players essentially run it. So it'd be interesting into what it is, but there has to be.
I'm I I've spoken to a lot of baseball people and just my friends who play baseball, and they're like, oh, it's
Yeah,
going to be short. I'm like, this is going to be a long one,
yeah,
and it's not going to be good because you see the numbers. Baseball is starting to get in viewership. You saw the World Baseball Classic, what they got. You're starting to see a lot more numbers, more interest in baseball that had been dying for a while. And yes, it could be the rule change. I wasn't a big fan of the pitch clock. I
yeah.
like it now. I'm like, I think it's good as much as I'm a baseball purist. I'm
Nuances
like,
to the
it's
changes
just, yeah,
that I like and I don't like. I don't like that you can't take I believe a pitcher has to pitch to two guys
three.
before three guys. I don't like that. I
Yeah, yeah,
absolutely despise that because that takes away the strategy of the game.
yeah.
But like a pitch clock, whatever. Like
Yeah, the pitch
players
clock.
are going to learn to it.
I love it, but it was watching a Yankees Red Sox game on a Sunday night, and it starts at 6 o'clock West Coast time, and it goes for 4.5 hours. I'm like, all right,
But like,
this is
there's nothing like a playoff baseball game and nothing against the pitch clock, but there's nothing like going to a playoff baseball game and it gets to the eighth inning and they got the top of their lineup coming up and you see three pitchers come in because you're playing that mind game, you're playing that strategic, and it just intensifies that game of like, okay, they're pulling in the next guy, they're bringing in the next guy.
honestly, there's nothing like, and I told this
Playoff
people
baseball.
playoff baseball. I'm sorry, there's the people who don't understand baseball. They're like, it's slow, it's boring. I'm like, the reason baseball is so great is because if I go to a football game, I go to a basketball game, I go to a soccer game, I have time to go get my beer. If I'm at a baseball game because it's a little slower, if I'm not watching every single play on the edge of my seat, I'm gonna miss something.
Yeah.
You know,
I tell everyone that doesn't like baseball, I'm like, go watch a Phillies game, a night game Phillies game, in September when they're running for it. Because there's one, while Philadelphia fans are the absolute worst, when it comes to their team and their team doing well, like it is the best experience of watching a Philadelphia crowd get behind their team. So if you can't get into that, you like there's something mentally wrong at that point.
We watch October to baseball, and I even my people are they're all they're soccer fans. I'm like, and they're all Latin American, Central American type,
No,
and I'm like, you don't understand Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Cuba, Venezuela. Baseball dominates, and I went to one of those baseball games, and it is
I
the
believe it.
greatest experience. I mean, if you saw the Dominican Republic games, they're having standing room only games. I'm like, it's one of the greatest experiences ever.
I
And
believe it.
you're there, and I barely speak enough Spanish to have a conversation. I can say hello and nice to meet
Yep.
you. How you doing? But you can still communicate because we know the game. We still have a little something in common. I can say
Yeah.
this. I'm like, you don't have that in any other sport. But I mean, unfortunately for the Marlins, I know we're here on FTSN. I get a little depressed being here in Florida, and I watch the Marlins, and it's a Friday night game, and there's 6,000 people there. Or I watch a Rays game on a Tuesday night, and there's empty seats left and right. I'm like, hey, I went down here. I know the baseball fans are here.
Yeah, and they're definitely there. I went a few years back to a Marlins game. One, I love that stadium. That's a nice stadium.
It gets cold.
It,
It gets cold.
well, we went there when it was like 96 degrees. So I'm like, oh, I love that
Oh,
stadium.
yeah, that's nice.
But we went there for just, I believe, a random Marlins. I forget who they were playing. It might have been the A's game. And it was crowded. So there is a fan base. I believe it was like Latin American night. So that's probably why it was crowded. But great fan base. They were into it. I enjoyed the time I went to Marlins Stadium.
Yeah, I think they're giving away like Sugar Kings jerseys for Cuban night. I think it is.
Maybe
Uh,
could have
and
been Cuban night as well. I forget when it was.
they're playing the Mets, so they're giving away like I think it's a sugar. I'm like that. I'd go for that one. Give me that jersey. That's sick.
Yeah.
But that's going to be packed, and I think they could turn it around. They have some really good young players. But unfortunately, right now, I was gearing up to watch the Yankees Blue Jays game. Trey Savage, Cam Schlittler. I really have to go slow with that name because Schlittler. But that game got delayed. But for the Yankees, finally got some. Had a little injury. So, luckily they skirt by Max Fried, who's having a great year. Goes only on the 15-day IL now, I guess. But we're get Garrett Cole's coming back from his Tommy John.
Yep.
First up, do you think the Max Fried injury kind of accelerated his timeline? Because I think it might be a little too early.
Yeah. Even like Tommy John doesn't really. It's not that awful anymore but I still think it's hit or miss with these guys. Like Andrew Painter coming back from Tommy John, he's 2-3 years from that, and he's not the same.
Yeah.
And he's a young guy coming back from Tommy John. Garrett Cole, I don't even know how old is Garrett Cole. He's got to be in his 30s.
He's 36.
Yeah, I remember when he was a rookie for the Pirates, and he was the next great thing.
35.
So I can only imagine him coming back. And it seems quick. It does seem quick that he's coming back. Yeah, I would be afraid of doing that. I'd like to give him like.
I was thinking like one maybe give him one, maybe two more rehab starts, but I think it accelerated. My Garrett Cole story is I coached at Orange Lutheran High School in Orange, California, which is like one of a top 10 nationally ranked high school baseball team in the nation. One of our assistant coaches was my grade. He graduated in 2010 when I graduated from Orange Lutheran, but Garrett Cole went to this high school. He graduated in 2008. First off, he said like this guy was one of the greatest athletes he ever saw. He's like could hit the ball a country mile and then dominate on the mound. But he was like Garrett Cole was a dick. He's
Oh, I
like
believe it.
he was telling me he's like if he for no reason if Garrett Cole didn't like you, he made your life living hell. But
I'm sure there's a lot of those guys out there.
I'm a baseball player. It's not uncommon with baseball players.
Oh, for sure.
Do you think Cole can get back to that Cy Young form we've seen, or are we seeing maybe he's gonna? I mean, he's getting 35, almost 36. Would that maybe be in another year, or do you think he can definitely propel this team from AL East winning, which the Rays are playing out of their mind right now, but propel them into serious World Series conversation?
I mean, you truly never know with Tommy John. It's really about arm strength and how he can come back from that. And like if he can come back and throw like he used to, yeah, I have no doubt in my mind he can come back and being a veteran player that he is, even if you lose a little bit of arm strength and the ability of what he could do, he can still go in there and paint corners and move the ball around. It's just how well can he utilize what he does have left, because I think he's going to lose something with Tommy John, definitely. So it's just how well can he adapt to the change of his arm and then come in here. I don't know if Garrett Cole is someone that is like very adaptable, to be honest with you. I think he relies on just having really good stuff, and it'd be interesting to see if he's willing to do it. Great. If not, I think that's when you can start to see like the decline and what he can do. I don't think it's going to be like a harsh drop off like you see from Aaron Nola.
Ace stuff, front of the line stuff. I don't see him in Cy Young contention anymore, especially back from Tommy John. And it's a guy who's definitely going to be on a pitch count for a couple months here. But if he gets back to a form where we have seen him in the past, it's already the best rotation in baseball with, when before Fried went down, probably the best 1-2 in baseball. And honestly, you could say that best 1-2, Cam Schlittler is the 1 and Fried is the 2. But if he could just give you be a solid 3 starter,
for sure,
makes them very deadly in the playoffs and something you've never seen from the Yankees in the time. But I mean, for me, as great as they're playing, and they lost 2 out of 3 to the Mets, they still have massive holes. Which the bullpen lost 2 games against the Mets. Blew 2 games against the Mets there. Austin Wells is hot garbage. He gets if I have to hear he catches a good game, I'm like, he's batting 176 and he doesn't really have a strong arm behind the plate either. Ryan McMahon's not much better. He plays solid defense but can't really hit. And Jazz Chisholm, I've literally texted my dad in the plate, during a plate appearance. I go, well, this is gonna be a pop-up, or he strikes out. And he does, because he's got a big old loopy swing. There's 2 players on the Yankees I love watching. And I love Aaron Judge. He's a great player, but he really frustrates me. That's Cody Bellinger and that's Ben Rice, who's having a hell of a year, the best 2 hitters on the team.
Yeah. Cody Bellinger is just a good ball player.
Oh, great ball player. And I'm really hoping for the Yankees. I think they have too many holes to fill to focus on trying to get an outfield piece. I think they need to get another catcher to get competition, maybe a Ryan Jeffers or Austin Hedges, because Austin Wells isn't getting it done. They do have a hole at third base. Ryan McMahon is too boomer bust. I think Jazz Chisholm could go too, and if Anthony Volpe surprisingly is hitting right now, which Anthony Volpe gives me headaches, and Jose Caballero, who is the MLB's biggest pest, I'd love to see a way to have him play third or second and get Jazz out of the lineup. I don't like his swing and miss, but I would love to see Trent Grisham move to the bench and have Bellinger play center, but there's too many holes that bullpen needs to shore up something with the bullpen to get an extra arm or two to get Bellinger in center. You're going to keep having Grisham, which as great as the years he had, he's not having as good. But so moving on, we're sticking with this little injury history, but and it's definitely probably your biggest rival right now for the last couple of years, biggest rival in the NL right now for a World Series run with the Los Angeles Dodgers. But we're seeing the Dodgers getting just year after year get hit with the pitching injury bug. First off, I watched the Tyler Glasnow episode. He's on a podcast and he's talking about how great the Dodgers pitching staff is and their program. I'm like, really? I see Dodgers pitchers going down left and right. But, I mean, you've got Glasnow who's now on the 15-day. You've got Snell who's going in for a NATO scope just the other day. He's on the 15-day. I mean, you've got Edwin Diaz who's on the 60-day, and we'll see what happens with Edwin Diaz and his whole other situation going on if you haven't seen that news.
I haven't seen.
Oh, it's not really been covered too much. It's pretty funny. Well, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. But yeah, I mean, two biggest competitions in for the Phillies is the Dodgers, and then you have the Braves. Braves are number one in the division, but they were hurt to even start the season. And then the Dodgers, Snell's hurt. Everyone's basically hurt for the Dodgers. As you mentioned, Glasnow, Snell, relief pitching is destroyed right now. So, I mean, I know they beat the Padres last night in extra, but that team, and not to get back on the subject, but it frustrates me so much of how they build their team. I despise the ability to, I forget what it's called right now, but the spread money out to future years. I think if you're going to allow that, there should be a cap to that. Like if you're not going to do a hard cap in baseball, do a hard cap in what you can spread out to uncontract years. Like that's perfect if you do that. But I just can't stand the Dodgers, and I feel like they're kind of like everyone used to complain about the Yankees because they would spend so much money in building their team back in the day. But I feel like they did it more respectful, as far as like we have a ton of money, we're going to spend the money. They didn't do it the way that the Dodgers are doing, and I feel like if there's anything to complain about within baseball, and like baseball is this old school, unsaid rules. Like I feel like the Dodgers are spitting in the face of baseball with the way that they're building.
I don't know where we go with a salary cap. I think there needs to be a floor with some of these teams that
for sure
a lot of money and they don't spend.
But it's a great story. It's a great story when Tampa Bay doesn't spend a lot of money and then they go out
and Tampa Bay's has the best record in baseball right now.
Yep.
Which I'm not. I didn't. Being a baseball guy, I wasn't surprised the Rays are good, but I didn't think they'd be this good. I'm like, knowing the Rays, if you know your game, they're always a scrappy, competitive team, but they don't have the name. But I think deferred money is the reason the Dodgers are able to get these guys. Shohei Ohtani's making $20 million for 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, now he makes a ton of money on endorsement from Japan, but to pay a guy $700 million and say, no, we're going to pay you $20 million for 10 years and then I'll kick in. I will say, and I agree with you. I get it with the Yankees. Everybody said we spend a ton of money. The core, when the Yankees were winning from 96 to 2000, their core team was built off of Derek Jeter, Jorge Posada, Andy Pettitte, Mariano Rivera. Those are homegrown guys. Can you name me two homegrown guys on the Dodgers? Because I can name you one. I can name you two now. and that is Will Smith, and that is Andy Paganis.
Will Smith is homegrown?
Yes.
I thought he came from
It might have been a trade. It might have been.
Yeah, I was about to say I thought he came up in Tampa.
It might have been. It might. I got to look into that, but not many homegrown guys. You throw in Max Muncy, who was a great find. They're a guy who's they found, but I will say on the Yankees side, they did have. I mean, you were built around 4 homegrown guys. Now they did spend a lot of money there, especially once after they lost in 2003. Did it work out? No, it didn't really work out because they only won 1 World Series in that time. But they were built around the core 4.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating. But I mean, on the Dodgers side right now, their pitching side. They have Blake Snell, IL, Tyler Glasnow, IL, Gavin Stone, IL, Bobby Miller, IL, Brewster Gratterall, Ben Kasparius, and Edwin Diaz. But I mean, this team's they every year they have the injuries, and they always find a way to navigate it in September to get to October, and then they go to a 3-man and find a way to win.
Yeah, they do a really good job at just winning. But they first. I feel like the Phillies should have beat them last year, but
if Nick Castellanos could get the trailer off his back and actually run, that might have helped.
Yeah. Teoscar Hernandez is like he's their clutch guy. He's the one that dominated the Phillies. But yeah, they're tired. Like their lineup is so beat up right now, it's ridiculous. But it seems like they're getting a lot of their guys back soon, right? Snell's going to be back. Glasnell's going to be back.
Yeah,
Diaz is a little bit longer.
Snell's a little more of a question mark because him and Tarek Skubal have the same injury.
Okay.
So that's a little more of a question mark.
Yeah.
But I think Teoscar Hernandez, I agree with you. I think that was the year he signed with the Dodgers was the most underrated but best signing in baseball. That you got a guy with his pop and what he did for so little money, and then he came in. He realized I'm going to come in and be in a winning organization. But hey, they find a way to win, and I'll tip my cap. Dave Roberts, who definitely struggled there to get over the hump.
Yeah.
And I think Dave Roberts really played the analytics early in his career and played the analytical matchup, and he's finally changed his coaching style. That's worked now. It probably helps you have guys like he does with the Mookie Betts and Shohei and Freddie Freeman, who still, why in the hell are you walking to face Freddie Freeman, who is, as you know, watching NL East baseball, this guy is one of the clutch hitters, super clutch.
Yeah, very clutch. And when Max Muncy and Freddie Freeman are your worst hitters, I mean, Will Smith isn't the best, but like when those two are one of your worst hitters, like that's scary. That's very, very scary. Because this team, like, I don't see an issue with this lineup. Other than not having the pitching that they expected, like where's the flaw of this team?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
Mookie Betts is probably the best player in baseball. Like I think people underrate Mookie Betts thoroughly.
Oh, he's honestly, Mookie Betts is a old school baseball player in a new school game. He does everything, and he frustrates me because he was a Red Sox and then went to the Dodgers. Yeah. But the guy just plays the game the right way.
And he's patient at the plate. Like that's the one thing that people don't realize is I tell everyone, everyone's like, I'm afraid of Shohei. Nope. I'm afraid of what Mookie Betts is going to do because he's the spark plug of that lineup. He's unreal.
I texted my one of my teammates, and we still talk to this day, and it's coming in the ninth. He used to go, you got to walk Shohei. I'm like, I'm pitching this Shohei. I've got
That's what I said.
There's one guy I'm not pitching to on the Dodgers during the World Series, and that was Will Smith, was the only guy hitting in that World Series. But I'm like, Shohei doesn't really scare me at the plate. He hits
Not me either.
A one-run home run. Now he's pitching great. Maybe he's starting to focus on pitching more this year, but he doesn't really scare me. And if you got him at the top of the lineup, like they've had Schwarber, and I don't know, I haven't watched a ton of Phillies games this year, like they had Schwarber, the one-run home run is really not a lot of damage leading off. If you're leading off, hey, you give up a home run, okay, we can make that up. Shohei comes up with first and second. Okay, now we're down 3-0. The same thing with Schwarber, because Schwarber's a all or nothing. It's a home run. Like you said, he's batting 230 this year. You said 220, 230. So hey, you were right. You're right on the money there with Schwarber. But Schwarber doesn't scare me that much because it's a boom or bust. It's a home run or it's a strikeout, and he's a free swinging guy.
Yep. When we were playing the Dodgers in the playoff, I said, and I was talking to my buddies and everyone, I was like, I'm not pitching the Mookie. I'm pitching the Shohei. Give me Shohei over Mookie Betts all day, every day. Like, while Mookie Betts scares me on the bases, I'll take that up because he is good to hit a double or triple, bat in a run. I'll take care of Shohei. Like, you can pitch around Shohei. You can get a Shohei out easy. I wonder what his average was against the Phillies in the playoffs last year.
I get in arguments with my Dodgers friends about, because Aaron Judge had a terrible 2024. I'm like, Aaron Judge, and yes, he's in New York, the worst media market there is, but he gets abused. He had a good playoffs, shorter lived last year, obviously. But I'm like, can we start bringing up Shohei Ohtani's playoff? He batted like 180 in the playoffs last year. I'm like, can we start talking about that? He's the greatest player in the world. I'm like, if you're the greatest player in the world, making $700 million with all the endorsements from the United States, from Japan, you should be. I'm sorry. I love Derek Jeter.
You should be better than Barry Bonds, and he's not even touching Barry Bonds.
When the game's on the line, you should be the dude. If I see Freddie Freeman, even if he's struggling, Freddie Freeman scares me, because you know why? He doesn't try to hit the home run. He's a gap-to-gap guy. He wants to hit a line drive.
Those are the scariest guys.
He's a professional baseball hitter.
Yeah, and that's all I want. All I want is a lineup of people that just hit gappers. Like, just hit a gapper, get on first base. If you can consistently get on first, I would love that. But this lineup with the Phillies is just, they'll get a hit, and then the next three guys will get out. And there's a game where the team's going over and maybe 2 hits, and this lineup should be consistently getting at least 7 hits a game, and getting at least 1 or 2 runs a game, because it's like Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper. Like, that's a dynamic 3 right there. And then you have some young guys, but from the start, as soon as you bring in Kyle Schwarber at the top of your lineup, that just, like, baseball's all, like, it's all off of rallies and how the momentum of the game. And you bring in Kyle Schwarber and he strikes out, and then you bring in Bryce Harper, who, like I said, he's having a great month, but he's very up and down. He'll very easily strike 100%. Out, and then the lineup just starts to fall off from there, and then it starts feeding. And you need to get a guy who can consistently do it. I think Crawford is a guy that there's a lot of pressure at that number 1 spot, and I think Crawford eats up pressure. And get him in there. Get Trey Turner at number 2. Get Bryce Harper at 3. And then I guess you're going to put Schwarber at 4. And then do whatever you want after that. I don't care. But I feel like that's
really more deadly if he's got runners in position. But Josh, you mentioned you definitely have to duck out early. And this has been great just talking baseball with you. And you're always before I'm going to throw some rapid fire questions at you. But I always tell everybody, if you ever want to come on, I'll definitely reach back out. But if you ever talk some baseball, you're more than welcome. Just to throw that out,
Perfect.
Hey, I want to talk some baseball here on Wednesday. You're more than welcome. But all right, quickly, best player in baseball. Who you got right now, Josh?
I mean, I think it's your guy, Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge. Okay. Early MVP race prediction. ALNL.
I haven't watched enough of what's happening this season. I've kind of focused on the Phillies.
Okay.
I couldn't tell you right now.
Okay.
But
All right,
yeah,
this
I
one
couldn't
might
tell
be
you.
tough. Is there an under 25 player you think is going to become a superstar?
Under 25 player that's going to become a superstar. I think Crawford's going to become a superstar.
All right. I mean, he's having a great start. I mean, he's definitely got the lineage in his blood.
For sure. But the thing that and I thought Stott was going to be a really good hitter, and he kind of fell off a little bit. Like, you watch Stott when he first joined this team, he was patient. The minimum amount of pitches he saw was at least 7, and I was like, this guy's going to be great. So you never know; they could fall off. But the start that he's had, the clutch hitting that he's had, the impact that he's had on this team, I think as he gets more mature and as he becomes a smarter baseball player, he's going to be dynamic.
All right. Biggest payroll underperforming for you right now? Highest payroll?
I don't think anyone, like the Dodgers, can never meet their expectations.
Just because of their payroll.
The other payroll, it's like when you pay a great football player like astronomical money. They play well. Harper got a lot of money. He was never going to live up, and I feel like he's like, if you put everything aside, like Harper's done a great job for his contract. But when you throw a bunch of those guys in there and you're looking at this lineup and you're like, where's the flaw in this team? Like, this was a team last year that people were asking, is anyone going to beat them? And they're better than they were last year. They added Kyle Tucker. They're a more experienced lineup through and through, like together. I don't think the Dodgers could fall short of, like, if they're not the best team in baseball, they're underperforming.
Oh yeah, I mean, with that payroll, with what it is, if you're a casual fan, you're like, what the heck are you saying? But I mean, like, with what you're paying, I'm like, if you're watching,
it's ridiculous.
All right. Let's go. You have a potential trade deadline big blockbuster trade. You got a name?
Like for my team?
Just a big a name. Doesn't even matter anywhere in the MLB.
I mean, I don't know if it's considered a big blockbuster name anymore. But God, what is his name? Fernando Tatis.
Okay.
I feel like he's underperforming. He, like, San Diego loves him. But like, the guy hasn't hit a home run all season.
One. I think he's got one.
Does he? He must have been recently.
Speaking of the Padres, Mason Miller gave up his first run yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in that loss.
But
I'm gonna have to double check that. I thought he might have had one, but I could.
It had to have been either yesterday or he might have. Because the only reason I say that is I picked Tatis in my.
No, you're correct. No home
my
run.
home run pool.
Okay.
I'm in a home run pool and I picked Tatis and he has not got a single one. That's frustrating.
My big name.
Yeah.
Yordan Alvarez. Who's having I think Yordan.
Yeah.
The Astros are starting to fall off from their World Series days. He's still got 2 years. I think if you put that guy in any lineup, he changes a lineup from a playoff team to a NL or a team who could win the NL or AL. But I think if they do trade him, it's a straight up bidding war who can offer the best and most prospects, because it's going to be at least 2, if not 3 top 100 top prospects in your system because of what the guy does.
What about Abrams.
I could see that too because I mean Washington's, even though they've got some great young players, definitely not in the mode to win. I
Yeah,
mean, they're definitely in rebuild mode for years to come.
and they're not afraid to move a piece to get more and kind of play the Philadelphia 76ers game, if you will.
Yeah. I mean, CJ
They,
Abrams, 295, leads the team. That's definitely a name. He's got a lot of time still on his service time, so that could. I'm still wondering, will Paul Skeens get moved? But
you kind of have to at this point, right? Like if you're not competing, like you have to.
I'm like, if you put and the Pirates actually are surprisingly, like, they're competitive. They're 500 right now, and the NL Central is probably the most exciting division in baseball. Every team's 500 or above, but I'm like, you've got Paul Skeens, who could be generational talent. Put a team behind him, and Pittsburgh, if you know anything, is a historically unbelievable baseball town.
Yeah.
Yes, blue collar, hardworking guys, but I mean, baseball runs deep in that town. Sports in general in that town.
Oh, for sure. That's all they have, really.
Yeah. But it's like, please put a team behind them. You got a great pitching staff. And I mean, 24-24 right now in the NL Central always seems to be up for grabs. I've counted out the Brewers every year after they make a trade. You trade Corbin Burns, I'm like, no way they win, and they win. I'm like, no way they win last year, and they win 102 games, something like that.
They were unreal last year.
And that's a guy I love, Pat Murphy. I love Pat Murphy. Let's have a little fun here. One player, doesn't matter about the age, you're going to start a franchise with.
Ooh.
Age is not a factor.
Age is not a factor. Man, that opens up. I'm going Mookie Betts. Like
I like that a lot. I
like we talked about him, but like I want that old school guy, like you mentioned. I want that guy that's willing, depending on how I'm building my roster, I can put him in right field. I can put him at shortstop. I can throw him around wherever, and he's going to do the job, and he's going to do it exceedingly well. So I'm choosing Mookie Betts.
I love that pick. I think he's an old school player in a different game. A guy who he plays the game the right way. He busts his ass down to first base. I've being a Derek Jeter guy, growing up with Derek Jeter in my early life, I'm like, this guy's, you can say whatever you want. He's got the most hits in Yankees history. He's got the most hits in postseason history, and to the end of his baseball career, he was giving you a hard 90 every single time.
Yeah, I mean, if he wasn't, you don't get the momentous play of him going and flipping it to the catcher, and it was fun.
I literally heard other coaches say, "What the hell is Derek Jeter doing there?" I'm like, that's just pure instincts.
Yeah,
like he was in the wrong position. I'm like, no, he saw something that no one else saw and made that. And they could have won it in 2001. They could have won that year, but Derek Jeter goes face first into the stands and just
I remember that.
Couldn't do anything, because he took a seat to his face. But I love the Mookie Betts pick. It's frustrating to see Mookie Betts on the Dodgers and being on the Red Sox, but I still go back to listening to David Ortiz saying, "We got this guy. We got this guy in the system," and he's talking about it. I'm like, this guy's going to be great, and he's talking about Mookie Betts. I'm like, hey, as much as Big Papi, one guy scared me when Mario.
Oh my God,
came up, that was the only guy who scared me.
He's the greatest player that knew how to utilize his stadium, because he would always shoot it to that right field fence that was shorter, smaller, but he came up the plate and he knew how to get it right there, and would constantly hit that clutch home run because of it.
Do you have any? I won't say World Series predictions, but any World Series matchup we could see?
So, I mean, obviously, I want to tell you the Phillies, but I don't think that's the way it's going to go. The one thing I'm interested in is how long can the Athletics hold on to it?
Yeah.
Because that would be fun to see the Athletics be able to do something here. But I don't think that's something we're going to see hang on. But I I don't want to say it, but I feel like the Dodgers are going to be that team.
Yeah.
But I love the way the Brewers are built. I'm gonna say the Brewers will be there in the NL, and for the AL, it's gonna be Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, who might
Yeah.
get a new stadium here shortly here in right across the street from
Would
Raymond.
that be a watched play World Series if you got the Brewers against Tampa Bay?
I think the baseball
Be
would not
mad.
want that at all.
Yeah, they'd be so mad. They want the Dodgers and they want either the Phillies or the uh
Dodgers, Phillies, or Yankees.
yeah.
But I can never say the Yankees because I hate my team more than anybody. You hate the team. I hate this. I hate the Yankees. I love them, but hate them so much.
Yeah.
At the same time. But let's go fun because I know this last answer
Okay.
is going to be one thing, and it is rightfully so. Outside of Philadelphia, best atmosphere in baseball.
Ooh. Best atmosphere in baseball. I have to say the playoff Red Sox. If you go to Fenway and so my first time at Fenway was just like the Red Sox were awful. And they were playing the Orioles, who, as we know, the Orioles are just a trash team through and through. And they were playing each other. I mean, divisional game, and it was a day game that we went to watch. And that stadium, have you been to that stadium?
Not to see a game. I've been
That
there.
you feel like you're on the field watching a game. Like that was an unreal experience I had. We were like 20 rows back, but the way that field is built makes you feel like you are on that field with the players. And you could just imagine when it was Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz, all of those guys, Pedro Martinez, and the crowd was going nuts. That might be better than Philly's atmosphere because that stadium, the way it's built, the history behind it, it is unreal.
Yeah. It's definitely still on my bucket list. I got there, but I was there for a Celtics game, so we just kind of did the tour.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's unreal.
But I mean, I'm sitting in those seats. I'm like, this is uncomfortable as hell. And you've got the seat in right field facing this way.
Yeah,
But I agree with you. You know, being a Yankees guy, I could still. It's the baseball fandom there. I think Philly's great. I know, especially October in Philadelphia, there is unbelievable atmosphere. I will never say the Dodgers. I think the Dodgers are a passionate fan base. I don't think they're the. I think
they're not showing up.
They're passionate and I disagree. They show up, but it's there more for it's Los Angeles.
Clout. Yeah.
It's a hot thing to do, just like, if you see the Lakers, when the Lakers are good, the stars are out. Yeah. But St. Louis is one. I think October baseball.
I was going to say St. Louis, but I haven't experienced. Like, I see it on TV, but I haven't experienced it. I haven't necessarily experienced the atmosphere of Fenway, but like I've watched a slow game in, I think it was September. They were out of it, far out of the playoff contention. But thinking back, being at that stadium and watching that game and feeling how close I was to the actual everything happening, and then thinking back to the early 2000s of when you're watching it on TV and you're seeing the intensity of the game, and then imagining to be there while sitting there, it's like I told myself when the Red Sox are back in it. I don't care who they're playing. I need to get back to one of these games just
100%.
to experience this.
Yeah, definitely. I think October baseball in New York's unbelievable. I still it will never beat the old Yankee Stadium.
Old Yankee Stadium was amazing.
It doesn't. It has more of a corporate feel now, but I
Yeah.
mean, it's never going to be old Yankee Stadium.
It felt like New York City. Like that old Yankee Stadium just felt like the city, and you'd walk into it, and it was old, but it wasn't a bad. Like you didn't have a bad view for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, it was walking in. I cried the first time I walked into that stadium. You know, just touching the touching the gravel, you know, the granite on the outside. I'm like, oh, you know, all these great players. My grandfather watched all these great players. I will say I'm a diehard Yankees fan. My dad is from Yonkers, Bronxville, New York. I don't like a single team from Los Angeles, where I'm from.
Yeah.
My grandfather is a Red Sox fan.
That's what makes it fun, though.
Was a Red Sox, but he loved baseball. He was a baseball nut. He'd be watching baseball all day. He loved. He was just, you know, baseball. He talked about the reason I love baseball is because of him. He talked about all the great ones. He used to play in the band at the St. Paul Saints games in Minneapolis when they were, you know, an independent team, and now they're, you know, a AA affiliate of the Twins. So, I mean, he just loved baseball, even though he was a Red Sox guy. He just loved the game, but that's the reason I love it. But I mean, going there, you see all the history. I got to go into the owner's box and everything and see George Costanza's office at, you know, Steinfeld, cool. And you got to see Steinbrenner's office. And I remember my dad's friend he used to work with, is a lawyer for the Yankees now. He used to work in Los Angeles. And Randy Levine walked by, and he goes like this, "Get back." He goes, "That's my boss. Give him room." Hey, Josh, quickly, I know you're more on a hiatus right now with the draft, but I will say, hey, draft show for FTSN, you did a great job. I appreciate it. You know, it was more Dolphin stuff, but I definitely tried to tune in. Everything was great, but in this off season, where can we, you know, what do you work? What are you working on? Are we going to see you on some podcasts, or what are you doing right now?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're just trying to get into the scouting. Again, we're trying to find as much film as we can. We're trying to reinvent what we're doing a little bit. Working on some stuff behind the scenes, but really just trying to get better than we were last year for the draft this year. And I think, I mean, if people ask me, obviously, if I have the time, I'll come on. But I think I'm just going to try and focus on the draft stuff and try and do a good job of that.
100%. I was tuning in here and there, you know.
And we saw you.
Hey, this I watched the year before. I'm like, hey, it made a little step up from now. You know, the last year was just the three guys on there with their faces. I'm like, now he's got the big board. He's got the picks. Right? I'm like, hey, I like
stressful.
It. Great job. It was very great. It was, you know, I'm sure it was a lot of time and work, but it paid off. And, you know, it's always great just to get one step a little better next year and keep on progressing. But
I've already improved as soon as I was over, I already went in and started messing with that draft board. I can't tell you, and I haven't even told Bobby or Coach this yet about me improving it even more. But Bobby and Coach were probably so sick of me that week leading up to the draft. Just me like, hey, can you check this out? Hey, tell me how I can do better on this. Check it out. What does this do? I just updated this. And I was super excited for it, but also nervous that it wasn't going to work. But once it came through and it started working, loved it.
Well, Josh, I want to thank you for coming on. Always great to have someone on to talk to baseball. Sometimes I talk to myself a lot. So
I'm always trying to be in the chat as much as I can. So it gives you someone to talk to.
It's tough when you're like, you know, hey, you see people in there. I'm like, hey, you got any comments? And I burned through my whole notes that I wrote. I've done one time. I told myself it was the summer, and I'm like, I'm gonna go out with some friends, have a few drinks here and there, and then I'll do my notes when I get back. Yeah. Well, I had a little more drinks than I anticipated, and I got back and took a nap and woke up at like 7:25. I literally told Bobby, I'm like, that's the biggest piece of crap I've ever done. I'm like, I can't do that again. I learned my lesson. But
That's funny.
Josh, I want to thank you for coming on deck here.
For sure.
I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight. I'm Russ Morgan. I'm here with Josh Wingate. This is On Deck here on FTSN. Hope everybody has a great night.